character strong. It's more than a curriculum, it's a culture. Hey, today we're going to be talking about targeted impact. Schools all over the country that we get to work with always focus on kindness weeks or creating a kindness month. And sometimes the process of brainstorming what actually to do during those weeks can be kind of complicated. So we've developed a method for brainstorming ways to do good. We start here in the center. Sometimes the easiest place to start is ourself. Not just easiest, but also sometimes the most important. If we don't practice self-love, how are we supposed to give it to other people? If our tank is empty, how can we fuel others? We move outwards from ourselves, and I think about as we move outwards, we're also in some ways moving into more and more uncomfortable ways to practice. So we start with ourselves and we move outwards towards our family. Now, of course, comfort looks like different things for different people, but we think about family as some of the closest people to us and oftentimes the people we forget to love on the most. So what would be some ways, if we start with ourselves, what are some ways that I can practice loving myself? And from outwards from there, we start to think about really specific groups of people, like, okay, what are some simple ways I can practice loving my brothers, my sister, my mom, my dad, my grandma, my grandpa, my uncle, my aunt, whoever it is, the people that I live with or consider my family, how do I love them? How do I show kindness to them? Move outwards from that, think about our friends. How do I practice engaging with compassion or empathy or goodness or kindness towards people I consider my friends? Moving outward from there, and this could be put a lot of different ways, right? From friends, it could go to classmates or peers or acquaintances or people on my sports team. But because of limited space on the screen, we're just going to go outwards towards staff. How do I show appreciation, gratitude? How do I honor? How do I serve? How do I show kindness towards staff? And of course with staff, we can break down staff into support staff, secondary staff, core teachers, administration. And when we start to focus on specific people, that act of kindness or brainstorming acts of kindness becomes much more personal and focused. Sometimes when we just try to brainstorm acts of kindness, it gets really broad, and this method allows us to target it towards people, brings that human element into it. So outwards from staff, we think about our community. How do I serve or show kindness towards my whole community? What are some broad, sweeping things that touch on every person in my community? Or what are ways that I can move beyond the walls of my school and reach out to the businesses and the families and the people that make up my home? So let's dig in. As a simple example, what are some ways that I can practice self-love? Right, this gives us some structure to the brainstorm. So now I'm not just thinking about general acts of kindness or general acts of love, but for me, how do I get better at loving me? Maybe an example would be to write a love letter to yourself with all the things that you admire about you. Put it in your binder, hang it on a mirror, put it somewhere you're going to see it every day as a reminder of the goodness that you believe in yourself. We come back to the model and we move outward a level. Family, how do I practice love with those closest to me? How about this? Plan a family date night. You make the popcorn, you choose the movie, and you make sure everyone puts the phones away and you have a shared experience together. Outward again towards our friends. How do I practice love with my buddies? Well, take time to find out your friend's favorite morning drink this week, and every day bring one of them or multiple of them the coffee or the tea or the hot chocolate that they love. Moving out a bit further to staff. How do I practice loving the people that make our school tick? One way could be to create a series of ridiculous awards to recognize staff throughout the week or the month, like most aggressive room decorations, most teacher-like outfit, who makes us laugh the most in class. Come up with a bunch of different ridiculous awards and try to honor everyone on staff over the course of the week. How do I practice love with my whole community? What if you created a space on campus today where people can sit and share about the people that they love? Make a couple of chairs or bring in a couple of couches and create an opportunity to people share about the people who've been influential in their life. It's a great exercise in empathy to realize that many of us have people in common. Maybe it's a teacher or maybe it's just the type of person. It's your mom or your dad or your grandparent or a coach that has made you feel loved or important. Sometimes we don't create spaces to talk about important things, and so we end up not talking about them. You can use this model in a couple of different ways. You start to realize that kindness isn't one-dimensional. So we start to brainstorm different ways to practice kindness, so different categories of kindness, and then you can start to align these categories with the targeted impact model. So for example, let's take acts of service. And we take one of the levels from the targeted impact model, staff, and now we're even more specific in our brainstorm, thinking of acts of service we can give to our staff. How about host an office party for all secondary staff during lunch? Or take over the lunchroom duty for the custodians today? Targeted impact allows for more effective brainstorming, and it helps you bring the human element back into something like a kindness week. Sometimes we get so caught up with the things that we're doing that we forget about why we're doing it in the first place. Sometimes we get so caught up with the general brainstorming of all these good things that we forget who we're doing good for. This model has helped me and people at Character Strong get really specific and targeted with who they're helping. Set up your week like this. Day 1, about loving yourself. Day 2, loving your family. Day 3, your friends. Day 4, your staff. Day 5, the whole community. I hope Targeted Impact helps you have a fantastic Random Acts of Kindness week, Love Week, or celebrating a Random Acts of Kindness day. If you want to learn more, you can always check us out at characterstrong.com. Be kind.